The movie begins with an alien named O narrating how his alien race, the Buv, is known for running away. He says his friends gave him the name O because of their exclamation whenever they see him. Captain Smek addresses the aliens and informs them that they will be moving to a new planet to hide. The planet is Earth, and he says they are safe from Gorg, their enemy. Smek tells him that the planet is inhabited, but the inhabitants are savages. The Buv arrive on Earth, and Smek turns off the planet's gravity. Some ships capture some humans and take them to a place called Happy Humans Town. The Buv settle on Earth and separate the useless items. O arrives at his house and tries talking to his neighbors, but they ignore him. He prepares a housewarming party and waits for his neighbors, but they don't attend. A cat named Pig enters a room and meets a girl named Tip. She watches videos of her with her mother and hears the Buv moving toward them. Tip takes Pig and rushes out of the house. She gets into a car and struggles as she drives away. O waits for his neighbors but doesn't see anyone. He enters a room, but the others hide as he moves around. O goes out and sees Kyle controlling traffic. He invites Kyle to his party, but Kyle refuses and says parties are a waste of time. O insists and accidentally sends directions to his house to the entire galaxy. Kyle informs him that Gorg can use the directions to find them and says O has doomed their species. The people get angry as their skin turns red. Kyle places O under arrest, but O gets into a bubble and flies away. O searches for a place with no Buv, and the computer tells him Antarctica. It realizes he is a fugitive and self-destructs. O rushes into a grocery store, and as Tip sees the incoming Buv, she rushes into the store. They eventually bump into each other, and Tip locks him in a freezer. O asks her to release him and says the Buv liberate people. Tip remembers how her mum was taken away from her and how she didn't get captured because the scanner saw Pig on her head. Tip blames O for her situation but realizes her car is damaged. Smek addresses the Buv and tells them he is handling the situation. He tells them that they aren't doomed, and as the camera cuts, he screams that they are doomed. They have 38 hours left till the message reaches Gorg and Smek summons the brainy Buv. They give him several suggestions and say they can log into O's email and stop the message from being sent. They try logging into O's email but realize his password is unique. Smek instructs Kyle to find O and retrieve the password. O helps Tip fix her car and uses a slushy machine to power it. She gets into the car but refuses to let O inside. He hangs to the window as she drives, but she doesn't know how to operate the car. They see the Buv approaching them, and Tip makes O promise to help her find her mum. He informs her they can get information at the Buv headquarters in Paris. He helps her drive the car, and they leave before the other Buv arrive. He tries sending them to Antarctica, but Tip hears it, and O changes the destination to Paris. O tells Tip about Smek and says he wisely ran away during a peace meeting with Gorg. He took a special rock from Gorg's ship, attached it to a stick, and named it the Shusher. Kyle searches for O and views images from a camera. He sees O and Tip in their car and continues searching for them. Tip and O hide from the Buv patrol as they continue their journey. They hide in a gas station, and Tip decides to use the bathroom. O follows her, and she instructs him to use the boys' bathroom. O steps out of the bathroom after accidentally drinking toilet water. He realizes that Tip is still in the bathroom and decides to take her car and go to Antarctica. Kyle points his gun at O and places him under arrest. Tip knocks him down with some cans and tells O he wanted to ditch her. He lies and says he isn't leaving her, and she informs him that he turns green when he lies. Tip struggles with O as they enter the car. Kyle gets up and tries to attack them but gets knocked down again by popcorn. They shoot cheese and nachos at him, and his gun accidentally hits the gas pump, destroying it. Tip and O escape, but Kyle thinks they died in the explosion. He returns to Buv headquarters and informs Smek that he accidentally killed O. Meanwhile, O and Tip make their way to Paris, and O dances to human music. O opens the door and jumps into the ocean as he dances. That night, Tip sits in the car and watches videos of her and her mum. O emerges, and Tip yells at him for leaving her alone. He tells her he found her alone and says Buv children are kept in a warming chamber. Tip realizes that Buv doesn't have families, and O says she is sad mad. She gets into the car and holds Pig as O says humans are complicated. Smek talks to the brilliant Buv and asks about their progress. Kyle suggests they type random letters and numbers, and they agree. O tells Tip that they run from Gorg because it destroys their planets. He says that Smek will solve their current situation, but he will still be punished. Tip cheers him up by making jokes, and they arrive in Paris. O sees the Eiffel Tower and panics as he says it's not too late to run away. Tip calms him and decides to disguise him using makeup. She draws a mole on his face, and O gets excited and says he looks different. Tip and O make their way to the BUV headquarters, which is the Eiffel Tower. They enter inside, and O sees they have 2 minutes until the message reaches Gorg. They sync their minds with the machine, and O deletes the message just before it reaches the Grog mothership. O celebrates and searches for Tip's mum, named Lucy. They find Lucy in Australia and disconnect from the machine. Tip hugs O, and thanks him. They make their way to the tower's base but are surrounded by the BUV. Smek arrives and accuses O of trying to escape. Tip says he is a hero, but Smek says he has made many mistakes and has to erase him because he will make more mistakes. Tip threatens to mess with the gravity device that holds the tower. Smek says she won't know how to use the device, and she turns it upside down, leading to the tower flipping. Tip and O evade their pursuers and hold on to the tower's tip. They run and fall on a building as the tower moves toward them, but it stops. They enter their car and drive away. Tip drives to a safe place and notices that O is worried. He says that Smek might be right and he will make several mistakes. Tip informs him that mistakes make humans, and O realizes that Smek was wrong and they should never have come to Earth. He apologizes for the invasion, and Tip gives him the car keys and lets him drive. Tip tells O about her struggles with moving away from her old home. O says he knows that the other BUVs don't like him, and they have fun as they drive. Tip falls asleep, and O covers her with a blanket. He enjoys human music as he drives and understands what it means to be a human. The following morning, Tip and O wake up and realize that the BUV are running away. O says that there is only one reason they will run away, and Gorg moves through the rings of Saturn and releases several drones. The drones enter the planet, and O engages the car's weapon system. A piece of the Gorg drone hits their car, and they crash. The slushy drinks spill out of the car, and it loses its power. Tip sees smoke from the Gorg drone that crashed. She suggests they go to it, and O reluctantly follows her. They arrive at the drone and realize it doesn't have a pilot. O finds Gorg's super chip and says it's the reason Gorg's technology is superior to theirs. He says they can use it to fix the car, and they celebrate. O realizes he ran to danger and not away from it. They rush to the car and power it with the super chip. The car moves extremely fast, and they arrive in Australia, where they see Humans Town. O sees as the other BUVs run away and realizes there are only 2 escape shops left. O and Tip lands where they saw Lucy, and O panics. He asks Tip to follow him to the ship because he wants her to live. She realizes he wants to run away and says he lied to her. O tells her it's impossible to find Lucy, and Gorg will destroy the planet. Tip refuses to go with him and says friends don't leave each other behind. Tip runs into the crowd, and O enters the escape ship. The escape ship returns to the mothership and sees the Grog mothership. Gorg rushes toward them, and the BUV panic in fear. O rushes to the control panel with the Gorg super chip and uses it to power their mothership. They move at an extremely fast speed and evade the Gorg mothership. Smek asks O what he did, and O informs them that he uses the Gorg super chip. The other BUV realizes that O runs toward danger and calls him a super BUV. Smek reminds them that he is their captain, but O says he isn't a good captain. He tells the BUV about humans and how they care for each other. Smek gets annoyed and tries to hit O with his staff. Kyle stops him and informs the BUV that they need a new captain. He takes the staff from Smek, knocks him out, and gives it to O as they make him their new captain. The BUV celebrate as O becomes their captain while Tip walks around searching for Lucy. Her phone dies, and she sits on the floor and cries. O sees as his ship flies away from Earth. He stares at a picture of Tip and decides to return to Earth. Tip sees O and hugs him. She asks him why he returned, and he says she and Pig are his friends and he belongs with them. He reminds her of his promise to help her find Lucy and uses his navigation device to take her to Lucy. They walk around for a while, and Tip rushes and hugs her mum. Tip tells her that O helped her, and he joins the hug. O looks into the stone on his staff and realizes that Smek took something important from Gorg. Gorg's mother ship appears, and the humans panic. Tip and Lucy run to the car but O refuses to enter. He places the gravity device on the car, suspending it in the air. O says he has to fix his mistake and runs to the Grog ship. The ship's scanner doesn't see O, and Tip realizes it will crush him. Tip gives her mum a present but uses the mirror to distract Gorg. She gets his attention and points at O. Grog tries to stop the ship but doesn't stop it fast enough, and it crushes O. T picks up the rock and cries as she hugs her mum. Grog moves the ship and reveals that the sharp wheels are hollow. Tip hugs O and says she was scared. Grog steps out of the ship, and O gives him the stone. A small star alien emerges from the suit and takes the rock. It opens it and smiles as it sees its next generation. O talks to him in an alien language, and Grog returns to his ship. O tells Tip and Lucy that Gorg was tracking the rock because it contained his family. He says that Gorg was the last of his kind and didn't want his species to go extinct. The other humans rush to them and celebrate. 2 weeks later, O and Tip have a party and invite humans and Buv. Tip turns up the music, and the Buv begin dancing. They all have fun, and Gorg dances with his people. O sends an invite to several aliens, and they make their way to Earth. The end. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.